So there were a lot of records broken tonight for the UFC. The new attendance record was broken tonight, 56,214. The gate was 9.53 million Australian. Fight of the night, Rousey Holm. Performance of the night, Holm and Kyle Noak. Congratulations to them. They all won $50,000. Holly wins 100. She'll be here in a minute. She's drug tested. Ronda was transported, so she won't be here. Who's got the first question?
Dana, start out. I know you said that Ronda was transported. Can you give us an update on her condition? What the reason was and why we didn't see her post-fight as well?
Well, she was transported because she got knocked out, number one, and she had her lip was split in half right here, and they had to sew her lip, so they took her, they transported her.
Did you get a chance to speak to her at all before she left? And
I
can
did.
you convey what her message was?
I mean, obviously she's completely bummed out and depressed, but that's it.
And obviously, matchmaking, tough to do on fight night, but what makes sense from a business perspective? I mean, the rematch, of course, would be huge, but Misha was in line for a title shot. You mentioned that you got some stuff in the works for Kat Zingano. Your first take, what makes the most sense moving forward?
I mean, obviously we don't make fights the night of the fight, but the rematch makes a lot of sense. I think the rematch is what people would want to see. I mean, it changes a lot of things now. Cyborg fight, some other stuff we were working on. So, yeah.
I guess, can you just give us your own, I think all of us are a little bit in shock and kind of processing it all. What was your take watching?
Yeah, it's one of those, tonight was one of those moments, man. These are the moments in fighting that make it so crazy and so fun. Tonight was one of those moments. Rogan was downstairs, he was saying, this is by far the biggest upset in UFC history, But at the end of the day, I made this fight. I said that this was a good fight. Holly was the right fight, Ronda never faced anybody who uses the range and distance the way that she does. This woman has 4 times more fights than Ronda does. She's been a world champion. This was the right fight.
Thanks, Dana. Just quickly, if I could, for Joanna, obviously not much attention is probably going to be given to your fight after what happened in the main event, but a dominating victory for you. I know you probably would have liked to get the finish, but a very tough challenger. Give us your thoughts overall on your performance, and what do you see next for yourself? Is there a name that makes sense for you in the strawweight division?
Hello everyone, I'm very happy that I won this fight, but I put on great performance, so big thanks to my team, to my coaches, nutritionists, my all management. And yeah, Valerie was tough. This is what I said before the fight, and she can hit hard, she can get a lot, so I hope you enjoyed the fight, that's all. And who next? I don't know. Probably my hand is broken again. I must go to the hospital, but we will see. So probably I will need to take some few more months off, but I will see. It's all Dana's decisions. I'm gonna fight with everyone and anytime, anywhere,
Dana, right here. Immediately, one thing that pops up on social media is it was questioning whether or not Ronda Rousey had the right game plan or not. And I know you've said over the course of, you're a promoter, you're not a coach, you don't come up with game plans, but you've also watched a lot of fights, and I think that's going to be a hot topic coming out tonight. What did you think of just the way Ronda approached the fight?
It's just it's funny because all the people that were talking smack about the fight, everybody thinks they're an expert and everybody thinks they know about fighting. Very few people really do, okay? So if Ronda went out there and ran after her like a maniac and knocked her out, Ronda's the best ever, Ronda's this, that. Ronda goes out and this happens tonight, the game plan was all wrong, and this was all wrong. It's easy to sit back and criticize when you're watching the fight. There's no doubt that that's exactly the way Holly was going to fight this fight. That was no secret there. The question is Ronda going to go in and try to stand with her? Is Ronda going to try to take her out? Or is Ronda going to go for double legs, try to get her in the clinch and throw her? To sit here now and question the game plan is just as stupid as the people that thought this wasn't a good fight.
And what did you think of Holly during the week of the fight? Obviously that's not something you're really going to talk about too much. you know, before the fight actually happens. But now as you look back and you see what she accomplished, does it make sense? Like, did she seem very calm, or did she seem, what was her demeanor like to you? You're
Cool
so
as
close
cool
to
can be. She's been here a million times. This girl has 45 or 40-something fights. You know, she's held many world titles. She's been in big fights like this before. She's been here before. This wasn't new to her.
Dana, do you feel that with Holly's victory over the pound-for-pound #1 on the planet, that'll be encouraging for other pro boxers to make the switch to MMA?
I don't know if that would be a good idea, but you know, she got her. She was 9-0 in mixed martial arts. You know, she had fights. She took her time. She worked her way up. She had a kickboxing background. If I was a boxer, I wouldn't come running over here too quick.
Dana, over here, in front. At the end of the first round, Joe Rogan said that Edmund told Ronda that she was doing great after the first round. What do you make of that sort of advice?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't hear it. I don't know what he said. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Dana, this is not a question. I just want to, on behalf of the Commission here, congratulate you guys for coming over. You've been wonderful to work with.
Thank you, sir.
Particularly your backroom staff who never get any accolades, Ashley, Donna and Gina, I think it is. We are thrilled as a Commission here to see the success of the Aussie guys, and we cordially invite you back.
Thank you. We'll be back, sir. Thanks a lot.
Just to follow on from that, just over here, Dana, just a general comment about the event as a whole. I'm assuming, having broken the record for attendance, you couldn't be more thrilled with how things have played out?
What's that?
You couldn't be more thrilled with how, I guess, things have played out, the event as a whole, breaking the attendance record?
Oh yeah, no, it's great. I mean, we broke a lot of records tonight. The gate record here at the stadium, our commercial business beat Lesnar versus. I mean, just every way, shape, and form, this thing was a massive success. And every time we've come to Australia, Australia's been great to us. It's been a pleasure doing fights over here.
Obviously, the event had a bit, I guess, came with some criticism from people. What do you think, I guess, a world record crowd, what message does that send for the doubters of the sport here in Victoria?
Well, hopefully, you know, we came in here, we had a successful event, we broke records. You know, I'm sure the economic impact on the city has been amazing. So hopefully, you know, when we roll out of here on Monday, you know, they'll look at it differently. Most people who are negative, they're uneducated about the sport. That's the reality.
Might be too soon to say, but is there a plan, I guess, of when you might be back, or how often you would like to come back here to Melbourne?
Well, we're coming back to Brisbane next, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll do that fight and then we'll go from there. Thank you.
Dana, Dennis here from Submission Radio. You mentioned that the rematch with Ronda and Holly makes a lot of sense, but it does seem like that would be around UFC 200. Does that mean Holly would sort of sit on the shelf from now till then, or do you think there's a chance she might take another fight, possibly with a person like a Miesha Tate or someone like that?
I have no idea right now. I mean, sitting here, right now, I don't know.
Mark, just a question for you. How you going? That was a great win there today. We're talking with Mike Swick, who said he believes you have one more title run left in you. How do you feel? Do you feel like there is one more title run left?
Of course. I think he's another title run. Yeah, of course.
Just a quick question for Rob. Rob, there was a great performance out there. I mean, a lot of people had Uriah Hall winning that fight. How do you feel? I mean, you just proved a lot of people wrong. This is no doubt the biggest opponent you've ever beaten. What went through your mind when you were standing in the middle of that octagon, Melbourne crowd, packed arena, and you got that big win?
Yeah, you know, ecstatic. It was huge to be able to come to to be able to fight in front of like a home crowd like that against such a good name like Uriah, and to put on such a good performance is what I joined the sport to do. You know, that's exactly what I joined the sport to do. I just want to put on good fights.
And just a quick question for Holly now that she's joined the table. Holly over here, I don't know if you'll be able to see me. Fantastic performance. Talk us through what's going on in your mind right now. I mean, a lot of people, like Dana said, didn't think this was a good fight because you didn't have much of a chance, but look at you, you're the champion now.
You know what? I feel like those are the best moments, and those are the moments we live for. They're the scariest moments. This fight was a lot for me mentally. I couldn't tell you how many times I cried in the gym leading up to this fight. It's a lot to take in, but those kind of fights are the ones that a loss is that devastating, but a win is that sweet of a victory. And you know, it's uncomfortable sometimes, but I just really like to take the chance, believe in myself, and give myself a chance. You know, just it's hard to put yourself out there sometimes. I know a lot of people felt it was early. I didn't expect the phone call to come this early, but I always just look at it as, if you don't take the opportunities that are in front of you, how are you really going to expect to get somewhere? So as soon as it came, I just said, this is great, let's do it.
Dana, just quickly, you mentioned Brisbane. Do you have a date for that? I don't think that had been made public yet.
Yeah, March 20th, 2016.
Okay, thank you very much. And
March
same
19th in the USA.
Got it. For Holly, supreme self-confidence all week. People were really interested in your mindset. Got to ask, along the way, preparing, were there any moments of self-doubt where you thought, you know, this girl is bigger than life? And if so, how did you get past those?
Absolutely. I don't think you can prepare yourself if you're not aware of what can happen. You know, she's been the most dominant athlete. So yeah, there were days I got to the gym, didn't perform well, sat in my car, upset, I cried, and I thought, you know what, if I perform like that, that's not going to get me a win. So I got to come back tonight, and I need to perfect those things. I need to get better. So yes, there's moments in your mind that you doubt yourself, or that you know things can happen, and you know, you can have a good night, you can have a bad night. There's days in training, everything flows, and days in training where they don't, and you just pray that that doesn't happen the night of a fight. So yeah, there's mental moments up and down the entire training camp, but those are the moments that you need to dig deep.
The build-up was very respectful along the way. She praised you, and then the weigh-ins happened, and it seemed out of character, and we were all trying to read into it. What's going on? What was your take of what went down at the weigh-ins?
I just saw her get off the scale and come at me, and I said, okay, we're getting into this now. I've never had, you know, maybe that intense of a stare down, but I've had girls that have, you know, kind of gotten in there, and everybody has their own mental game getting into a fight. Some people just need to just get up for it in different ways. Some people have a fight is the most emotional thing you can do. I mean, you're putting everything physically, mentally, everything emotionally goes into a fight, and there's a lot that goes into it. So, you know, there's a lot of emotion. That's all I can say. So.
And just lastly, you had success from the very beginning, but was there one moment in time where it clicked in your head that I've got this? This is going my way tonight? And also, Dana said he thinks the rematch makes sense. Do you think that makes sense as well?
I think a rematch makes sense for sure. I've been on the losing side of a fight, and I wanted the rematch. I wanted to avenge my loss with a champion like Ronda, who has gone out of her way to above and beyond to do great things. Absolutely, she deserves a rematch. This isn't something, I don't look at this belt and think I've made it. I think I still have things that I need to do. I mean, I think a rematch is, that's kind of like unspoken, just common sense to me, I guess.
Holly, over here. First of all, congratulations on the massive win. Second of all, throughout the week you spoke about visualization. Throughout the fight, did you visualize that this would happen throughout the fight camp?
I visualized if a head kick was there to go for it. We didn't want to go out of our way, you know, searching for it. I didn't want to force it. She can come straight forward, and with your legs in the air, with someone coming straight forward, you can be off balance, things like that. So there's times to use them, times to not. If it was there, I wanted to take it, and it was there. But that was the only thing in the fight. I mean, she kind of was going for an armbar here. We were in the clinch on the cage at one point. We were, you know, in the clinch in the middle of the cage. There's a lot of things that kind of going through my mind, and I just wanted to make sure that I was focused every minute of the fight. And that's one of the things that I would think about. I did visualize the kick being there, and I also visualized myself being in other situations in the fight, because I didn't want to get in there and it be brand new. I wanted it to be something that I had already ran through my mind and respond in the correct way.
And Joanna, here. So In the first round, things looked a bit shaky at first. Valerie looked to get a couple of strikes away, and then you landed that massive up kick late in the round. Did you ever get discouraged that you didn't actually finish her in the first round with that? Did you get discouraged when you didn't finish her with that up kick? It looked to rock her a bit and it set her back. At the end of the first round,
Yeah.
you landed a really nice up kick.
Yeah.
Were you surprised that you didn't finish her with that?
No, yeah, now I understand. You see, we can work on that. But you know, I just wanted to take easy. You know, I knew it that Valerie is kind of tough, so I was not in a hurry. So no, I just did my job. That's all.
And lastly, question for Jake. Congratulations on your first win in Melbourne, in UFC rather, in Melbourne, obviously. So, what were your thoughts going into the later rounds of the first round when he had your back and he almost choked you?
Yeah, you know, there's always going to be times in your fights where you got to go through adversity and learn. And I just took this fight as sort of punishment for the way I acted in Adelaide. And I knew it was going to be a hard fight, and I took it that way. That, you know, it's not going to be so much a technical fight. It's just going to be a scrappy fight where you have to dig deep and get through it. And that's what I did. You know, he was attacking from the word go, and I started a bit slow, but you know, eventually got into the rhythm and just wanted to finish that first round strong. And all I needed to do was get back to the corner and have my dad in my ear and tell me what to do, and then I knew it'd be fine. And that's what we did, and that's what happened. And yeah, it could have gone better, but I think these sort of fights are what build champions. So just glad to be able to get the win and get the win in front of a Melbourne crowd.
Holly, up the back where all the cameras are. Goes to Christmas past. Over here. Can you see me? Hello.
She can hear you talk.
Yeah, that's all right. Is there anything about the way Ronda approached the fight that surprised you? She was extremely aggressive. She didn't really try for any takedowns. Do you think that was a good game plan from her? Did you expect that?
I feel like she was aggressive. I felt like the first round was really active, and it was nothing different than we expected. She's been able to win in devastating fashion because she's imposed her will on a lot of girls, so I expect her to be aggressive and try and impose her will on me. She did get, you know, she had me on the cage for a minute, and I think obviously she was trying to get in for a takedown right there. Just had a lot of work on the cage to counter that. So I wasn't surprised. I knew she would be aggressive, and we were in quite a few different positions for being, you know, just a round and a half. She went for an arm bar, she had me in the clinch, she went for a hip toss, she had a lot of things she was trying. So I'm just really glad that I put a lot of time into practice.
And it seemed to me that Ronda was, she always is aggressive and extremely confident, but you seemed very at ease from the very start. What do you put that down to? Is it just confidence in your training? Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Every fight is different. I always say every fight is a different journey. And I was worked up, but definitely relaxed. I just kept telling myself, it's right now. Don't get too relaxed, but be confident in your training and be confident in yourself. Now's the time to perform, and I just kept running that through my head. I didn't want to look out and see everybody and get overwhelmed by all the people here. I didn't want to look across and, you know, there's times, I guess, in my career where I didn't want to look across and think, I'm fighting Ronda Rousey. I just wanted to look across and say, I'm fighting Ronda, because I made it here for a reason. There's a lot of hard work, and I think you can put yourself, you know, you can get so mentally beat by kind of working yourself up too much. And so I just wanted to stay really level-headed and know what I was up against, but believe in my training and my ability.
Holly, congratulations firstly. Leading up to the fight, you spoke, I guess, a lot about not only winning for yourself, but for your team. Can you tell us about the moment perhaps when you first got behind closed doors after the fight? I'm assuming it was pretty emotional.
Actually, ran around, and I haven't really been able to sit down. I did get to talk to Greg Jackson, just gave him a hug. I haven't really talked to my other coaches because I was just running around in the back. But as soon as the fight was over, and I looked over, and they said, "We did it," you know. We knew you could do this, and you came in, and you did it. And that was the moment right there, you know, to look over and just see their pride too. They put so much hard work and time and belief into me. I know it sounds crazy, but I want it as bad for them as they want it for me, because they truly, truly want the best. And our coaching at our gym is just, I think, not a lot, but I think some coaches can kind of look for their own glory in a lot of things. And our coaches just really want you to do well, and they want it for you. And so they're genuine about that. And so when I look back and I get to see them and give them, you know, I feel like that's my way of repaying them. You know, they give me hard work. I want to give them that pride too.
Have you thought about perhaps maybe trying to take out Australian citizenship? I mean, obviously, you've been well and truly adopted here.
Oh, I love it here. It's awesome. I do feel like this could be a second home. It's great. I came up to Brisbane, Mooloolaba. Did I say it right? I'm just trying to, you know, say the right things here. I loved it. I couldn't wait to come back. We had to come here for the press conference, which was great, but only 3 days, and of course that's just with a lot of nerves at hand and trying to get back to train. So I was excited to come here, and I'm not leaving till Wednesday because I love it so much. I know that's not a lot of time, but I'm going to try and do a lot in 3 days.
I was just watching a video online, the reaction and response to you back home in Albuquerque. What do you think it's going to be like when you arrive back home?
I don't even know, but I'm pretty sure I'll cry a lot if I know me.
Dana, just want to get your reaction, just over here, Dana. Just want to get your reaction on the Aussie boys. Robert Whittaker, were talking about his big fight with Uriah Hall yesterday, and Jake Matthews. What did you think of their fight? Because it looks like the UFC has a couple of big stars in its hands from Australia.
Both great fights. They were awesome. You know, I've been watching Whittaker for a while. I think he's super talented, and I think he's one of the serious up-and-coming guys right now. And then obviously, he looked great tonight, man. A little scary there for a minute, but he turned it around. It was a good fight. It was great.
And Mark, just over here again, obviously Dana mentioned there's going to be a Brisbane fight, possibly in March. Would you be interested in possibly headlining that card?
Of course. I'm always down for the party.
Mark's trying to fight in Korea next week.
Hey, work. Come on, boss.
I'll take one more question.
Yeah, Mark, don't leave the microphone too far away, mate. I've got another question for you. You speak about your eagerness for a rematch against a couple of those blokes you obviously lost to. Is there anyone you particularly want next?
Anyone, yeah, JDS, Stipe. I'd like to pay them back for the nice fight we had, so yeah, rematch is always good for me. Anyone. You maybe.
I'm glad you pointed over there and not here. I'll take you.
Australia, you're always really good to us. We appreciate you very much. Thank you.